there, and welcome to The Slice. I'm Caroline, and this week we're talking all things Davis Cup by BNP Paribas. So whether you're a seasoned vet like Daniel Nestor or a rookie to the Davis Cup world, we'll make sure that you're all ready to go ahead of our first round tie against Croatia this February 2nd to 4th. If you're sitting at home asking yourself, what is Davis Cup? Well, let's start off with the basics. Davis Cup is the largest annual team competition in the world. Last year, there were 125 nations that competed, and it's oftentimes called the World Cup of Tennis. So what makes it a little bit different than your standard tennis tournament is the fact that it's not individual versus individual, but rather team versus team, and these teams go by countries. It also means lively cheering crowds. That's right, you're encouraged to bring drums, noisemakers, do whatever you can do to make sure that your home team recognizes that you're there in the stands. Davis Cup is played in an alternating home and away format, so if the two countries have met before, they'll take turns hosting depending on who hosted last. Canada takes on Croatia this February, and since the two countries have never met before, there is a draw to determine which country would host, so we're going to Croatia. Getting into the specifics, a tie is played over 3 days and is a best-of-5 series, so the first team to register 3 wins is the winner. Day 1 is composed of 2 single matches. Now these matches are sometimes called rubbers. The next day is the doubles rubber, where the 2 doubles teams of the countries face off, and on day 3 is when the last 2 singles matches go. The top tier of competition is called the World Group, so there are 16 teams all facing off looking to take home that prestigious trophy. If you win in the first round tie, then your country moves on to the quarterfinals, semifinals, and if you're lucky enough, competing for the prestigious trophy in that final match. However, if you lose your first round match though, you do play a playoff tie, which happens later in the year. Now you're competing against another team to stay in that world group. If you lose that one, you're relegated to the Zonal Groups. Below the world group tier, countries are split into 3 different zones. You have America, Asia, Oceania, and Europe and Africa. Each of these zones then have 4 different divisions, ranging from the highest, Group 1, to the lowest, Group 4. For countries competing in these zonal groups, the goal is to win and get promoted to the next highest division for the following year. Once a nation advances out of Group 1, they can compete in the World Group playoffs against those 8 teams facing relegation. If one of the 8 teams can win over their World Group opponent, then they swap places and earn a place in next year's World Group, while the losers will be bumped down to their respective zonal group. For countries competing in these zonal groups, the goal is to win and get promoted to the next highest division for the following year. The 2018 season will be Canada's 7th straight in the World Group, and during that stretch, Canada has reached some of its best results, making the semifinals and quarterfinals in the past few years. If you're still confused after all of that, make sure to head to tenniscanada.com and check out the information about Davis Cup on the website. It goes really in depth and will help you catch up with all of that. But to get you excited about this upcoming tie in Croatia, here are a few storylines to watch. New captain Frank Dancevic will be taking his maiden shot at captaincy this year. He's replacing longtime coach Martin Laurando, who has been involved with the team since 2004. Daniel Nestor is looking at retirement, and he holds a ton of Canadians' Davis Cup records. Among those, most Davis Cup ties played at 24, so he'll be interesting to watch during this tie. And finally, Vasek Pospisil. Keep an eye on this guy. I don't know what it is about Davis Cup, but it brings out something unreal in him. Whether it was the tie in Ottawa or in Vancouver in 2015, Davis Cup is where he really shines. It was even a few weeks after he played Davis Cup in Ottawa that he went on to beat then world number 1 Andy Murray at Indian Wells. So we'll be excited to see what Pospisil can do. Well, that's it for us in this Davis Cup 101, but make sure to stay tuned. The first round tie is right around the corner, February 2nd to 4th in Osijek, Croatia. We'll be there and we'll bring you the latest access from Davis Cup. I'm Caroline, it's been a slice.